Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, January 25th. It is 6:23 right now. Market's gonna open in about 7 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a couple of things here to update and we should be good to go. All right, a few more things here. It's good. All right, let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. It should be good to go. All right, links being sent out. I'm going to fix my Apex real quick. All right. Looks like we are good to go. All right, guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, January 25th. It is 6:25 right now. Market's in the open in about 5 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here on the daily chart. All right, so we got a level right there. Color that blue. There. Go down to the 8-hour. Going down to the 4-hour. Going down to the 2-hour. Down to the 1-hour. Down to the 30-minute. Down to the 15. Down to the 10. And it looks like we are good to go. All right, guys. So the closest level of liquidity is going to be above over here at 38,096. That's going to be right here above. This might get hit pre-market. It might not. We'll see what happens here as we get closer to open. The lower level down here is going to be at 37,911. That's going to be the lower level of liquidity. Looking over here at our clean chart, I'm going to mark up 6:30. Mark up 8 o'clock. I'm going to check the 4-hour to see if there's any structure here. There's structure right there. Structure right there. Price is currently rejecting off the 4-hour structure. More structure right here. And I think that's it. All right, so we got pretty much everything marked up so far. Going back to our clean chart over here, you can see price is currently rejecting off the 4-hour support. I'm going to put that over right here. 4-hour support level. So we got a bit of a messy chart right now, but we'll see what happens here when market opens in the next few minutes. Going over to our main chart. Let's see if we had news this morning. So we had a lot of news this morning, actually. Looking over here at the calendar, we had news at 4:40, 5:30. That's about it. So a lot of news, but around that time. So we had news over here at 5:30, which is obviously this huge candle right here, and 4:40, which is a bit of an unusual time for news. All right, again, that was right there at 4:40, and this huge candle right there. So, all right, we had news right there, 4:40, 5:30 was a bunch of mixed news. We have some more high impact news at 7 o'clock. It is new home sales for December and month over month, and then more news at 7:30. So we got two news events, 7 o'clock and 7:30. All right, guys, market is about to open. All right, market is now open right here. Go to markup opening price. So we have this huge spike to the downside right here. And we'll see where we go from there. Price is currently cutting back into the 4-hour support. Let's see if price stays below this area. If it does, we'll make some changes with the structure. Otherwise, we'll just see what happens here when price continues to obviously move along. All right, so price is kind of just coming down a little bit. There's no entries for us here, so not really much for us here to look at. Just got to sit tight and wait for the market here to stabilize a bit. My guess is that price will probably continue climbing up, but I mean, there's no guarantee that'll happen, right? The market doesn't always do what it's supposed to do. Sometimes it'll go where it needs to go. Sometimes it doesn't. Looking over here at retail sentiment again is still very high. It's currently 78% short. This indicates that 78% of retail traders are currently selling right now. So you typically want to do the opposite, buy. Looking over here at the fundamentals are currently bullish right now. They're not very bullish, but they are getting there. Currently up 95 points. In order for them to be consistently bullish, we need this to be above 100 points and consistently above that point. So with that said, we currently have a bullish bias with regard to retail sentiment, bullish bias with regard to fundamentals. Looking over here at the technicals, the 1 minute is bullish, 5 minutes bullish, 10 minute is bullish, 30 minute is still bearish, and 4-hour and 1 hour is still bearish as well. Well, the 4 hour is bullish. So we have a bit of a mixed trend here across the board. Majority of them are bullish though, so price will probably continue climbing up. Also, we have price rejecting directly off the 4-hour support level. So odds of it pushing higher are very likely, but doesn't necessarily mean that it has to push up, right? Just keep that in mind, guys. Currently right here on the 1 minute, we have a bullish trend. So we're probably going to be looking for some buys here. However, we do have a V1 pattern that is starting to set up right here on this top side. I'm not going to look for any sells until we have a confirmation of a shift in trend. So right now we still have a bullish trend. So until these pivots start to cross and the trend meter starts to change, I'm not going to be looking for any sells just yet. We'll be using this as a confluence. So if price comes down from here, we'll see if it climbs down lower and maybe provide entry for us there. If anything, price might reverse from this point, come back down to news price right here, because you can see that price never corrected from this news drop right here, right? We had a big drop from news earlier this morning at 5:30. Price climbed up, consolidated. Looks like it's looking to come right back down to retest news price. So that could be the case right there as well. A lot of different scenarios here. This is why you want to be careful with your entries, because the last thing you want to do is be caught on the wrong side of the market. So again, we have structure right there for the V1 variation type pattern. We'll see here if we get a drop to the downside. If we do get a drop to the downside, I'm not going to take any entries until we have confirmation. So, I mean, regardless of the fact, we'll follow it, but not necessarily looking for entry just yet. So yeah, it's just waiting in, guys. We are pretty much waiting for some confirmation here. We got price pushing up higher. It's currently at the sessions, which is completely fine. That V1 pattern there has been invalidated, so it's no longer useful for us. You can see our price is rejecting directly off the sessions. So it's going to be a little bit of a tricky area here for obvious reasons. You guys can see. Looks like we might get another V1 pattern here. But again, we'll just wait. We don't have news till 7 o'clock, so we still have some time from now until then to take entry. ATR is currently at 20 right now, so it's pretty decent. Looks like liquidity probably got hit on the top side right there. Yeah, it looks like liquidity got hit. It's currently running. And there we go. As price starts to continue climbing up higher. It's currently at the sessions though, so this is an area where you probably don't want to trade. Obviously, it's an area of manipulation. Another V1 pattern right there. You can see it's rejecting off the sessions with the V1. But again, we're just going to wait. So no entries here for us at the moment. Here you can see prices pulling away from the 4-hour level support, but it is pulling back down. What might happen here is we might get if this higher high gets established, then we might just have a range between these two levels right here, which it's not unusual. This is pretty much what's been happening all week. If you guys have been following the live sessions, we've pretty much been identifying these ranges and consolidation all throughout the week. The good thing about today is that the ATR is higher, right? For the past couple of days, ATR has been around 15 or lower, so there hasn't been very much direction or movement. Today, the ATR is currently at 20. There was a lot of news this morning, so a lot of volatility all throughout the session. And we're hoping that it just stays above 15. I think if it stays above 15, we'll have some nice setups for entries. But if not, then it's probably going to keep bouncing back and forth. What I'm looking for here is I don't really mind if price comes down a little bit, provide maybe a V1 pattern down here, and then allow us to maybe take a buy position here back to open, right? So I'm not really picky with my entries right now, but I'm going to wait for an actual valid entry to come up. So a couple of different scenarios here. I'd be careful with some sells unless like the trend has actually shifted, because the trend here hasn't shifted yet. The reason why I'd be careful for some sells is because the 4-hour support is right there, right? So even if price does come down, it's probably going to come down a little bit, bounce right back up. So like realistically, I want price to either come below here, and I'll take some trades down here because it'll be pretty deep in the support level, or I want price to break above, right? So I can start taking some buys up here. So I just want price to get out of this middle area right here. This middle area is not the best place to be trading. So again, just got to wait for this here to play through. Once it plays through, we'll start looking for some entries there. All right. So again, it is waiting game, guys. We got price back at open right here. We still have a lot of time till 8. So we're just gonna wait here. Yeah, I mean, if anything, we have to have price drop down a bit more because I don't want price to just flip right here. Because if it flips right here, we're gonna be too close to the sessions. I want price to come down a bit more. I want it to come down a bit more. Maybe provide a double bottom right there. take that for a V1, or, again, if price pushes up higher, then take it for a breakout V3 up here. Let's see, Daniel said, looks like it's trying to pop up. So many wicks on the bottom of those candles. Yeah, I agree. A lot of huge wicks right here on the bottom. So it's trying to push up. It's just having trouble getting past the sessions right here, right? That's why we don't trade at the sessions. You can see prices pushing away, but it's not really able to get that push to the upside. See, Maddie said, wouldn't be surprised if it drops a bit. So we had CNBC just report right here. Maddie mentioned stocks rise after GDP report shows strong growth and slowing inflation. Yeah, so CNBC just reported positive news for the market. Typically when it does that, that's usually a sign that price is going to do the opposite. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see what happens there. Yeah, that was just released too. So I don't be surprised if it rejects off this point and it starts coming down a bit heavy. Typical news manipulation, or not really news manipulation, but CNBC manipulation for the most part. All right, so again, guys, we're just gonna wait. There's no need for us to force anything here. Either way, I'm gonna be looking for trades. I'm mainly looking for buys right now because of what we currently have. There's just no confluences. So you can see again right here, this candle is trying to break past it, but it's having trouble getting past the sessions. There's a pending buy signal right there. It came up and it's flowing right back down because it can't get past these sessions right here. It's London low and Asia high. All right. So this London low is probably going to shift as we get closer to 7:30, 8 o'clock. As you guys know, this London low is from the previous day. It's not from, because it's still London session right now. London session and New York session overlap with each other. So this is from the previous day. It's going to shift once London session closes today. There we go. As price pushes up. Unfortunately, we don't have a V1 pattern over here, so we don't have my confluence. So even if we get a breakout V3 continuation, I won't be taking that trade. Yeah, Maddie said a possible triple confluence, but it's right out of the sessions. Exactly. So we'll follow it. If this here closes as a breakout V3, we'll follow it. I'll mark it up for you guys. But again, I'm not going to take a trade because it does not meet my criteria here. I'm only taking A+ setups. I'm not taking anything risky. This is just my way of showing you guys discipline and consistency. Is Steven here? Steven's not here. So the crazy thing with Steven is that he passed his apex yesterday in one day. He took one trade. And then I think he blew his account right after. So guys, like, don't do that. Where's Steven's chat? Yeah, so Steven right here, he messaged me yesterday. He traded gold yesterday. He passed, so he got funded. And then like at 1:30 a.m., he was messaging me. He said, he's like, I'm deciding if I should risk my funded account with another gold trade or just take my time with US30. And then like 10 minutes later, he took this trade and I think he blew his funded account. So guys, don't let that be you. I hate making Steven an example, but Steven is like the perfect example to show you guys like how you should not be trading. You shouldn't be trying to pass your challenge in one day, guys. I know it's possible, but you shouldn't be trying to pass your challenge in one day, because you'll just blow it right after. So he took a gold trade. You can trade gold on here, guys. So just a reminder, you can trade gold on Apex too. It's just the symbol is GC. He likes to trade gold, so he traded gold. And he passed his challenge. Like he just got lucky. He took a trade, didn't really think about it, and then he just let the trade run. And then he got funded and he thought about, okay, should I do the proper thing and trade normally now? But he just traded again and blew his account. So, it's that cycle I was telling you guys about. You find profitability, it's the same cycle for everybody. And until you could get past that cycle, you're just going to keep making the same mistakes, right? Get funded, blow your account, get funded, blow your account. Your goal is to get funded and to stay consistent. So it's all good. It is what it is. Hey, what's up, Edward? No trades today. Nothing's really happened. You can see prices kind of bouncing back and forth. It's been trying to get past the sessions over here. You can see how price got past it. It faked out, came right back down. Here's a drop that Maddie was talking about earlier. So I think the drop is probably happening now, Maddie, based off of CNBC news. And it is starting to come down from here. Natasha said got her Apex on Friday. Haven't taken a trade because she's only taking trades with me. Yeah, and that's a smart decision there. Um, but yeah, guys, slow and steady will win the race. Like you guys have probably heard that before. Slow and steady will win the race. That's really how it is with trading. It's really just being slow, steady. I mean, realistically, it's just being boring with trading, right? If you can be boring with trading, it'll open up so many opportunities for you because that's kind of how I trade, right? I trade very boring. Like I take one or two trades a day, but you guys have seen my consistency. I don't really lose many trades, and I just consistently like stack up my profits. So I think being a boring trader is probably going to be if you want to last in the trading game long term, that's typically the way that you want to trade. Like if you guys have probably heard heard of turtle traders, right? There's like a really good book. Well, it's an old book. It's called Turtle Traders. And that's basically what they did. They were defensive traders. And that's pretty much what we do too. So you guys will see that there's a bunch of entries that come up, but I don't take every entry. I only take the ones that I consider, A plus and that are for sure going to hit. And it's better for my psychological aspect of trading as well. As most of you guys know, trade psychology is like one of the biggest impacts for a lot of people. If you guys can master the trade psychology, it opens up so many opportunities for you. Yeah, exactly. Nick said rinse and repeat. Exactly what it is. Craig said FTMO payout is scheduled for tomorrow. So normal live trading for me. Got this to 8% for this 15-day period. Nice work, Craig. Yeah, no, that's great. That's great that you're able to do that. And now you just got to keep repeating the process. All right, so we have a V1 pattern right here, guys. The trend is still bullish, so we might have an opportunity for a breakout V3 continuation. We also might have an opportunity for a V1 variation. It just depends on what we get here. So let's see if this V1 establishes as a reversal. And it looks like it might or might not. If it pushes lower, it's not going to because this will just push down to a new level. All right, so we're in a bit of a tricky market right here because you guys can see that it's really close to this low. The pivots here are trying to shift over a little bit. We'll see if we can get a buy signal. If we do get a buy signal, we may have opportunity for an entry here. So we're looking for two things here. We're either looking for price to push up, provide a buy signal, and climb up higher, or we're going to look for price to climb up a little bit, come back down, reject off this for another V1, and then provide entry from there, right? So two different scenarios that we can play out here, either a V1 variation or a breakout V3 continuation, or a normal breakout V3, which I wouldn't take because the sessions are up here. It's not enough space for you to really get that high. So let's see what happens here. Not really too much. All right, so that low right there has been pretty much removed. You guys can see over here that the pivots are starting to shift. So if that's the case, we can start looking for some sells. Yeah, Maddie said 12 minutes till news, might just chop around until news. Yeah, which is kind of what I see too, Maddie. So the pivots here are starting to shift. If that's the case and we start to get a bearish trend, we can start looking for some sells. We don't have to keep looking for some buys here. Again, another V1 pattern right here, possibly if it closes green. If this candle closes green, it's going to set up for another V1 pattern. But you guys can see how blocky these candles are currently moving right now. They're not really moving very smooth at all. So we'll come back and take a look at that shortly. Got about 30 seconds left on this candle. All right, we might have this V1 pattern right here. It's not a V1 entry that I would take because I don't have that confluence, but this is a V1 pattern right here. So again, at this point, I mean, there's not really much of a trend, guys. So as you guys can see, I need price to like really push up. In order for me to take any buys here, I need price to really push up like up here because you guys can see that the pivots here are starting to shift, right? So we really need this to push up a bit higher. You can't just hang around in this area right here. If it pushes up and continues to climb, yeah, price pushes above the pivots like Maddie mentioned, then this can continue as a bullish trend. The only problem here is that it's now too high and it's right at the sessions. So at this point, we probably won't even be able to get an entry because it's so close to the sessions. So you guys can see price is just faking out in both directions, right? You can see how price pushed up. Let me go to our clean chart here. So I'm not even going to mark up the next level there, but you guys can see over here from the clean chart how the fake outs are playing out, right? Price is really just ranging between these two levels here. So price pushed up right here. It faked out right here on this candle. It came right back down. Then it came right back up. And we'll see what happens next. But yeah, this here is setting up for a breakout V3 continuation. The only problem is that it's right at the sessions. It's like literally at the session. So I'm not going to take the trade here. I mean, I can mark it up for you guys, but I'm obviously not going to take this trade. This goes against my trade criteria. So we'll see what happens here. I mean, this might even fake out and come right back down. Realistically, price is within the range. So here's a clean chart. You guys can see it's pretty obvious. Price is ranging between this level and this level down here. So it's not like it's something new. And there goes the breakout V3 continuation. Not one I would take because it's right at the sessions. This is an area of manipulation, but you know, that's pretty much, this is what we were looking for. We just were hoping that it wouldn't happen right here at the sessions so that we can take the trade. If you guys want to take it, you know, it's a natural risk trade, not one I'd recommend because this is one of our red flags. So I always avoid trades when price is touching or near these horizontal lines. Red is going to be the New York high, the London high low. Purple is going to be the Asia high low. Green is going to be the New York high low. It's just not a good area to trade in because you can see how price is getting manipulated. This can easily spike up and hit CP, but it can also get manipulated around this area before it actually does, right? So not exactly the setup we were looking for, but if it was, that's what we'd be looking for. So we'll follow it. I'm not in the position, but I guess we'll continue following it and see where it may go. But again, you can see over here that price is pretty much just stuck within this range and fake outs. And there you go, full TP. So if anybody caught it, and again, I mentioned this was at your own risk. It's not an official trade that I would have taken. It is a trade because it does meet criteria. There was a V1 pattern here, buy signal, green candle. So this was a breakout V3 continuation with confluence. However, it was at my red flag, so obviously I would not take that trade there. So if you guys took it, nice work. If you guys didn't, it's completely fine. For me personally, it's just too risky, right? The trade already typically has like above a 70 to 80% win rate. When you start adding in these red flags, it goes down to like a 50%. So I'm not here to toss the dice, right? I'm not here to take any chances where I have a lower probability of it hitting. I need that like very high probability, like 80 to 100% chance of it hitting before I take the trade. So Daniel's asking if would you take this high-low scalp if it closes above? Based on my current trading plan, no, but I mean, if you wanted to take it as a high-low and I was following this trading plan, following the two strategies, I would probably skip it because it looks overextended. So let's measure it from down here. I mean, the high lows, it's decent. It's like 800 pips or 80 points up. For me personally, I think this is a little overextended for me because this is just a big push to the upside. If there was like some retracement and some actual pullback, then maybe. But yeah, this is at this point, it's very overextended. You guys can see it's kind of tricky because it's due to come back down at this point. So I mean, it's a decent high-low scalp, but again, like when you throw in that overextension analysis of it, it kind of makes it a bit tricky because it's now overextended about 92 points, almost 1,000 pips at this point. Due to the low volatility and range over here, my overextension point would be like at 75, right? I usually go between 75 and the 1,000 point, but when the market's not doing anything, I think 75 is usually like where I consider it a little overextended. Let's see if it hit already. So it looks like it barely hit right there. And if you did take the trade, you probably would have gotten caught in the spread unless you're trading with the futures broker. There you go. So yeah, it looks like it would have played through. Yeah, it's just too tricky, guys. Like whenever you start to see a big push like this is where I start to get more and more cautious because it can't keep pushing up forever, right? It's gonna have to come back down. So it looks like, yeah, it would have hit TP there, and then now it's due for retracement. And it's probably gonna start coming down a little bit. Yeah, Kenny said a high-low V2 might be better here. Candles are super big. And what else? And a lot of manipulation going on. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so Kenny sees the same thing I see. The candles are super huge right here. Like after being so small, like whenever you see small candles like this and you start to see these huge push, like a huge push in one direction, you want to be careful for the manipulation that's to follow, right? So, and then we have news right here at 7 o'clock. So I'm gonna wait for that. The news at 7 o'clock is very high impact. We have existing home sales, I believe. Yeah, so we have new home sales month over month and new home sales for December, which surprisingly is forecasted to be positive. Usually December is a slow month for the real estate market, so I'm not expecting it to be positive. I think it's actually going to be negative, but we'll see. I mean, it could be totally different. I mean, who knows? It's a different type of market that we're in right now. The rates have been changing, so we'll see what happens here. They're forecasting it to be positive, so consensus for the high impact news right here for new home sales is positive. But if we're looking at historical data, usually home sales are lowest during the winter months. So for me personally, I think it's going to be lesser than expected, but I mean, we'll see. It's kind of a weird year because of the crazy interest rates. Yeah, and the rates haven't changed until January anyway. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here. So what I want now is I need a sell signal. I need a sell signal to come down, retrace a little bit so that we can get a V1 pattern and then another buy signal to the upside. So we got news coming up in about a minute and a half. So again, like what I was mentioning, guys, like there's an entry right here. There's actually like two entries that came up here, right? The high-low scalp and the breakout V3 continuation. This is kind of what I've been instilling with you guys with discipline, right? Like I saw the entry coming up. I knew it was coming up. I marked it up. I still didn't take it because it didn't meet my trade criteria. And that's kind of what the mentorship is going to teach you guys, right? It's going to teach you not to get FOMO, even though the trade does come up, and just control your emotions. Of course, you can take the trade if you feel comfortable with it, but I think the biggest problem with the majority of people is knowing when not to trade. Because I'm sure if you guys see multiple entries come up, you're going to get FOMO. You're going to start to want to trade, even though it's a bad trade. And then a lot of times, you guys don't even see a trade. A lot of people will get FOMO, and then they'll take trades that aren't even there. And I think that's like the worst. It's the worst situation when that happens, because I see that happen to a lot of people. You'll see like three trades come up. Like for example, you'll see three trades come up right here, right? Breakout V3, high-low scalp, momentum pullback scalp. And then what happens right here, you see no entry, and then you get FOMO and you just enter a buy for no reason, right? Sometimes it'll hit, you'll get lucky, and you'll just keep making those bad habits even worse. It's okay to take a trade if a valid entry comes up. Like for example, right here, there's a V1 pattern, but there's no pending momentum. So it's just really tricky right here. And we have news now. Craig said, man, I've learned so much since coming back to Sean, really fine-tuning my strat now. Yeah, exactly, Craig. I think with you being part of the group now, Craig, is that this is really teaching you, your trade psychology and your ability to make good decisions with trading. I feel with a lot of people, it's you have a lot of ups and downs, right? I'm sure that's what happened with you, Craig, initially. Had a lot of ups and downs. You had a lot of good days, good months, and then horrible months where you just blew everything. And I think now you have the ability to really understand, like, okay, I don't have to take every single trade, and I can still have good weeks and good months. That's typically how it is with a lot of people. It's when the greed comes into play. So let's check the news real quick, guys. The news is actually positive. So month over month was neutral, and December was actually positive. So it was about where they were expecting it to be. The previous month was 60.615, and this month it was 0.664. So it's slightly bullish. Again, these new home sales, these aren't necessarily residential, right? A lot of these could be commercial, or they can be bought by companies, right? They're not necessarily. So even though the numbers here are a little better than what they usually are, it doesn't necessarily mean that regular people are buying houses. So let's see if we have that manipulation to the downside, like Maddie mentioned. I'm hoping we get that too. And then a correction back up. So, I mean, I don't really care about news. The news is going to do what it wants to do. We just want to see how price reacts to it. So the news was positive. We'll see if price comes down a little bit and then corrects back up. That would be the ideal situation. All right, so we got price coming. Well, it looks like price is now ranging. So there's a new range here, as you guys can see. I'll mark the structure here. Price pushed up. New structure right there. We'll see if price comes back down to this lower structure. I mean, it's pretty much a repeat process of what's been happening all week. So if you guys remembered from earlier this week, this is literally what's been happening. Price would go into a range or consolidation, go into a new range, consolidation, pull back, consolidation. This is the same thing that happened yesterday and the day before that. It's just consolidating. It's ranging, consolidating, and then pushing to another area to consolidate and range it, which is completely fine. We can still trade in this type of market. We just need to look for that V1 pattern to come up. So we need to get a new low here. There's actually a low here already. There's a V1 pattern right there. There's a V1 pattern on both sides, actually, guys. So this is kind of the tricky stuff that happened yesterday. If you guys remembered, we had a V1 right here and a V1 right here. So we want that sell signal to come up. That's going to be useful for us. V1 to V1. And this is exactly how it was yesterday. If you guys remember this pattern, the same thing happened yesterday. We had this and it just consolidated like this for like 40 minutes, I think, right? 40 or 50 minutes. And then we got close to 8 o'clock and nothing happened. So we'll see. The ATR is still pretty decent though. ATR is currently at 18. Yesterday it was at 14, 14, 15. So the consolidation was like pretty bad because there's nothing going on. At least here, price is actually moving. All right, so price broke below. That's completely fine. We'll see if another V1 pattern comes up. All right, so this pattern is no longer useful. We'll see if another V1 pattern comes up right here. So that structure is done with. Looks like price might be coming back down, like I mentioned over here. It's a lower level, which is cool too. I don't mind that. Um, actually the lower the better. I wouldn't even mind if price comes down to the sessions and then bounces off here. But we have our range here marked up, so we already know where the range is at. So if it does decide to push up, that's fine. All right, looks like we might have another V1 pattern right here. It's got a closed green though. If the candle closes green, we'll have that V1 pattern. There we go with the V1 pattern. All right, so we're back into this range here. We'll see if we can possibly get a V1 variation or a breakout V3 continuation. All right, now we wait. So basically what we're looking for here is we're looking for a buy signal. Best case scenario, buy signal. Otherwise, we'll look for another V1 pattern. But even if we were to get a V1 pattern, we would need a high. So either way, we need price to push up a bit. All right, so this V1 here has been validated again. It's completely fine. Like I mentioned, I actually want it to be lower. There's no V1 pattern off this low. So I'm fine with this candle pushing down a bit lower from where it's currently at. I actually want it to reject off one of these levels. If it rejects off the pivot 3 or the sessions, I think that's even better. So reject off the pivot 3 right here is actually really key. Because typically, if you guys look back, whenever price pulls back to level 3, it usually bounces right off it. So price came up right here, bounced off level 3, shot right back up. So we're getting that rejection right there. We are on the 10-second mark. Now we just got to see if we get that V1 pattern. There we go. So the V1 pattern here is starting to set up a little bit. If this candle closes green, it'll be a V1 pattern. And it's rejecting off pivot 3, which is another great confluence. So like a V1 pattern is great, but if you see a V1 pattern rejecting off structure, like whether it be a pivot, a sessions, whatever it may be, support resistance, then that's even better because it's a stronger reversal pattern. So you get a reversal pattern off structure, like, okay, price is probably rejecting off that structure. And then if it continues up, it's probably going to push up even higher. So, all right, Craig, we'll see you back here tomorrow. Hopefully the market's a lot more active early morning, but we'll see you back here then. So we got 10 seconds left on this candle. See if it closes green. We'll get that V1 pattern. Looks like it. All right, there we go. So now we're looking for a possible breakout V3 continuation. We're looking for that buy signal. Otherwise, we're looking for price to establish a high, come back down, reject off the same structure, and provide opportunity for a buy. So we do have the buy signal pending right here. We need that buy signal to close. Once it closes, we'll be looking for possible entry. We got 20 seconds left, so we still got some time. All right, we got 5 seconds on this candle. There we go. So we're just waiting for this next candle here to close green. If it closes green, this will be entry for a breakout V3 continuation. It'll also be just breakout V3 continuation. I'm just hoping the candle's not super huge. It's currently at that structure. Still got 30 seconds left, so we got some time. We got 20 seconds left here. Waiting for it. Candle's kind of big, but I'll still take it. We got like 5 seconds here. 3, 2, 1.
Order submitted.
Entry happened right there. Following it right here. Hoping my entry came up. So it kind of got split around a little bit. I mean, overall, it looks like I got in where I was supposed to, but slightly above. So this trade lines up with a high-low scalp as well. You can see how the candle broke and closed past that higher high. So it is a breakout V3 continuation, also lined up with a high-low scalp. And we'll see where this goes. So we got price pushing up right there. Just the volatility kind of died down here a little bit. I was hoping it would just push right through, but the volatility is kind of low. I'm hoping we don't hold this for too long. Let's see, ATR is currently at 17 right now. So I mean, just gotta wait for it. My entry point wasn't the best, but it was all right. Freaking voice is still kind of raspy. All right. And volatility is just, I hate when this happens, like you get into an entry and the volatility just kind of flattens out. It's pretty close to target though. Just needs a little bit of a push. I also don't like how the candles are kind of blocky, but I mean, that's just the type of market that we're in right now. I don't think there's anything else above. Let me check the other. Yeah, there's nothing else really above where price is currently at. I don't think it's at an all-time high. Yeah, Maddie said it's pretty far from it. All right, so this trade's kind of running a lot longer than we typically like to hold it for. Trade's running for 1, 2, 3, 4. It's about at the 5-minute mark. ATR is starting to die down. You can see the ATR is currently at 17, went down to 16, went down to 15, now it's back to 17. Just the volatility is really low now. So we just need a little push up right here. There we go. Full TP. All right, so it looks like a couple of my accounts closed out. Some of them kind of are still stuck in there. I'm not sure if anybody pulled out of it early, but yeah, I think here I'm gonna see if I want to just hold on to it to volatility is too low. All right, the ETR is currently at 17. Looks like the majority of my positions closed out already in for the TP, but some of them are kind of still stuck. See, Natasha's done. She got out full TP. Manny got out full TP. Let me go and just take a screenshot of this. And we will add this to our trades for today. If you guys want to post up profits, feel free to send them in. This is for the breakout V3. There you go. Let's look at our team profits for the day. So let's see. We have Andreas over here, total profit of 1,081 for the day. Nice work, Andreas. All wins. We have Rashid over here, total profit of 2,559 for the day. All wins as well. Nice work, Rashida. We have David over here, total profit of 4,757 for the day. All wins as well. We have Emilio over here, total profit of 104 for the day. All wins as well. And it looks like, and this thing, the volatility is super dead. I don't know if anybody's still in the position or if everybody pulled out already. But yeah, I mean, this thing's running for a lot longer than people would typically hold on to. Let's see. Jeff's asking if there's a momentum pullback scalp. Let me see the levels here. Yeah, so there's also a momentum pullback scalp that happened right here as well, guys. If anybody was looking for that there. I mean, there's not really much volatility here, but yeah, that was another momentum pullback scalp that was right here. Price pulled up, retraced down, entry would happen down here at this level. And it also hit full TP there too. So depending on what you guys were taking, there's a couple of entries that came up. The breakout V3 continuation right here, and then there was another momentum pullback scalp that actually happened down here. Again, it just kind of depends on what you guys are looking for. But for the official entries, we would have been looking for the breakout V3 continuation. There's no other V1s here. But yeah, Jeff, I don't know if you caught that trade there, but there was also the momentum pullback scalp that happened there as well. I just had to close out.
Order filled.
There you go. I don't know what happened. For whatever reason, it was not closing all my positions. So you guys heard my clicker there. I just closed out of it manually because there's no need to hold on to something that already hit TP, right? So if you guys held on to it, I mean, it blasted right through, so it should have hit your TP fully. But I just had to manually close out. My MT4 accounts, they kind of like trapped me in. I guess the spread was wide at the time, which is normal. That's why I kind of want to stay away from MC4. But yeah, nice full profit right there, guys. So we'll be looking for the next entry here as we continue along. As you guys can see, the market is not really doing too much. It's going sideways, but we got our full TP right there for that trade. So our goal for the day, one quality A+ entry, full TP. You guys can see it doesn't matter if you're holding on to it or if you pulled out early. Either way, it would have hit your TP eventually. but this thing was going on for too long, right? Typically, generally when you're taking a trade like this, you want it to hit right away. I think the only problem here that kind of threw me off a little bit was the candles were so big. So I figured, okay, maybe a retracement will happen and it'll climb back up. But this here kind of went sideways for a pretty good while before it eventually went straight to full TP right here for a guaranteed full TP. So nice work, guys. Again, this is exactly what I was mentioning in the past. It's being able to wait for these quality entries to come up and then taking them when they come up. And that's all you really have to do. There's no need to force any trades. It's really just fishing for these good entries to appear. Anyways, we'll look for some more entries here, but there's just nothing for us here at the moment. There's another V1 pattern above, but obviously we're not going to look for any sells here. Trend is bullish. We'll see if we swing back down for a V1 on the bottom end, but if not, we'll just look for price to swing back up and then look for another entry. There's also a lot of confluence on that entry too. Like Maddie said, there's a high-low scalp also that came up. Nick said, mine hit full TP for 47. I thought I might have done something wrong. So I think it kind of depends on where your entry happened, Nick. Like for me, my entry was a little bit higher. So you'll see my profits right now. I'll take a screenshot of my profits. I locked in partial too. I locked in like 400 or 430 actually. Which I mean, it kind of sucks, but it's still profit. So I'm not going to really cry about it. I'm okay with what I got, but I'm going to show you what I locked in here. Take a screenshot of this. But yeah, I mean, myself too, I also got screwed with the entry. So you're not alone if you think you got less than what you should have. I should have got 500 per account, but with the slow market, it just wasn't moving as smooth. All right, so I'm gonna take a screenshot of that. I'm also gonna take a screenshot of my copier. Locked in some pretty decent profit. Nothing super great, but like I said, I'm not gonna cry about having partials here. The main goal is just that you're following your trading plan and that you're hitting your TP. So we followed our trading plan. We waited for that setup. Setup came out perfect, played out perfect. It didn't play out perfect. It took a while for it to hit, but it did play out like it was supposed to. So for the week so far, my accounts are doing pretty nice. I'll screenshot the week and the day. And this again is just to show you guys transparency of following the trading plan. Because I feel like with a lot of people, they say they're following a trading plan, but as soon as we get off this live session, they're taking a bunch of other trades, right? Which is fine. I mean, if that's part of your trading plan where you want to trade outside the live session, that's really up to you. But let me show you guys what I locked in. All right, there's no other patterns here. There's no other entries, so don't worry, you guys are not missing out on anything. I'm just going to show you guys what I locked in here on my accounts. So here are my accounts right here. All right, all right, here's my Apex accounts. You guys can see my first account locked in 380, second account 430, 430, 430, 430, 430, 430, 430. Pretty much 430 across all the accounts. I was supposed to lock in 500, but whatever. I ended up closing a little earlier, and then I got caught in the slippage that typically happens when you close out early. So that's pretty much what I locked in across my Apex accounts. Looking over here on my MT4 account, you can see I locked in 189 on my funded engineer, 900 on my FTMO, 1,100 on my FT1 number 2, 348 on my personal account, 661 on my TFF, 761, 761, 761. So these are all my accounts right here for MT4. Yeah, even here I got hit with I should have had like 2,000 here for my FTMO, but it gave me half. So it's all good. I mean, it happens. It's been happening a lot lately, which sucks, but can't really do anything about it, right? Just got to roll with it and take what you can get. So those are my profits so far. That's the full TP that we caught right here on that trade. And then looking over at our team profits, we have some more profits here as well. We have Nick with 47. Unfortunately, he's the one that got caught with that slippage, which is all good. Or probably bad entry time. We have Vince over here, full TP on that as well, 425. Nice work, Vince. We have Ross over here, total profit of 2,910. All wins here. Nice work, Ross. We have Eunice, total profit of 735 for the day. All wins as well. We have Maddie here, total profit of 7,700 across all of his Apex accounts. Nice work, Maddie. We have Jonathan, total profit of 1,129. All wins there. We have Natasha, total profit of 224. Nice work, Natasha. Great work following your trading plan. We have Kenneth here, total profit of about 4,000 for the day. All wins right there for Kenneth. We have Gian, total profit of 502 for the day. Nice work, Gian. We have Jeff, total profit of 175. Great work, Jeff. And we have Johnny over here with a total profit of 1,584 for the day. All wins. Nice work, Johnny. All right, guys, so solid profit so far. We'll continue looking for some more entries here. It's getting closer to 7:30. As you guys can see, the volatility is starting to die down. It's kind of typical for us. Usually if I have my entry already by 7:30, once we hit 7:30, I start to lean off a little bit, and I start to look for only like really A+ trades, because when the volatility dies down, you guys already saw what happened here for our last entry. This thing went sideways for a good like 10 minutes, right? These scalps are supposed to hit within 5 minutes or less. So, if your trade starts to hang on for more than 5 minutes, at that point, it's probably okay to pull out for partial profit, or just understand the risk. Because if you lose a trade holding on to a scalp for longer than like 10, 15 minutes, at that point, it becomes a day trade. And at that point, the strategy goes out the window, because it's not supposed to be held for that long. So we'll continue looking for entries here, guys. We have another news event at 7:30. I think it's a low impact news event, and we'll see how that kind of pushes price around. I don't think it's going to push it around very much, but we'll wait and see how that plays through. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to pop into the chat, and then we will continue analyzing the chart here for some more entries. There's no V1 patterns here, so once we get a V1 pattern, I'll mark up structure. Otherwise, we'll continue looking here. So you guys can see here on our clean chart, it pretty much just establishes new highs, right? It just keeps doing more. It moves to a new range. So it's not like anything here changes at all. Price was in a range down here for consolidation, pushes up, range consolidation, pushes up, range consolidation, pushes up, range consolidation, right? It's the same thing that's been happening for the past 4 days, right? It's just how this market's moving this week, which is unfortunate because we like to trade in a directional market. But the good thing is that we still have other strategies to apply during these types of market conditions. So we're still looking for some V1 patterns, V1 variations. That still works during sideways markets. It's just we're not getting those patterns set up the way that we like with regard to our confluence, right? Because I'm looking for A+ setups. I'm not looking for anything in between. I'm looking for A+ setups, and that's all. So, all right, let me scroll down a little bit and see what else we got over here. Thanks, Maddie. Yeah, Maddie said nice entry. Yeah, Ken said we're doing pretty good for a shitty market week. Yeah, I know the week hasn't been great. I mean, if you guys have been following, I think we've had like maybe 1 or 2 trades this week so far. Let's see. Yeah, the market hasn't been great. We've had 1, 2, 3, about 3 entries this week. So we had 3 entries this week. So basically 3 out of 5, 5 trading days out of this week. Hopefully we can get 1 more. My main goal is to have like 5 quality entries a week. That's like main goal. Because if you can do 1 good trade a week or 1 good trade a day, 5 trades a week, some days you'll have more trades than others. Some days you'll have less. That's pretty good. So like here, I'll do the math again, right? So this is like very conservative, just taking 1 very A+ trade every single day, or having 2 good trades and then 0 trades another day, right? So if I have 20 Apex accounts, right? So if I'm making 500 per account, which you can see over here, my profits for the day were close to that. It was like 430. I'm usually aiming to make 500 per account, right? Times 20 accounts, I'll make basically 10,000 per 1 good trade. If I could do that once a day times 5, or have 5 total trades in total, make about 50,000 for the week, right? Times 4, That's 200,000 for the month times 12. That's 2.4 million for the year. I'll be very happy with doing that, right? And it's all about just stacking the accounts and understanding the probabilities. So, you just got to do the math, guys. You don't have to work hard. It's working smart, not working hard, right? I don't have to take these huge trades to make $1 million a year in trading. I can take one good trade, and that's about it. And these Apex accounts are dirt cheap. Sorry, guys. Again, if you guys want to open an Apex account, there's an 80% discount going on right now. So if you go to the Discord, I'll post it up again here. It's 80% off. So like the crazy thing, this is why Steven is like YOLOing his account, which I don't never recommend anybody do. But Steven is YOLOing his account because it's so cheap. Like he can just buy a new account. He YOLOs his account, gets funded in like one trade, and then he just goes and does the same thing over and over again. But I don't recommend that. I recommend, doing what I'm doing here, taking one quality entry and then growing it from there. But yeah, it's so cheap. If you want to buy a 150K account, it's like $60. $60 could basically, like, you could yield so much profit from that. Even if it takes you a month to get funded, like, you take one good trade a day, get funded within a month, and then at that point, you're not even paying the fee, but you still lock in that $80 account, which is super. I think it's a really, really good deal for what it's worth. All right, so we have a V1 pattern right here setting up, guys. We might have another entry. The only problem is that it's right next to news. We got the V1 pattern right here. We got the news candle right here. Let's see if there's another breakout V3 continuation that might come up. Or this just might get invalidated. I mean, who knows? All right, Maddie. Maddie's done for the day. He's 7-0 for the week, so he's logging off. Sorry, Maddie. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Let's see. Nick said, so stoked, still sitting completely green since the beginning of the year. I was able to avoid the recent loss that we took because the momentum candle was invalid for the V3 continuation. And that was taken, so I chose to sit it out. I really feel like this is all coming together. Yeah, no, big congrats to you, Nick. I think that's the biggest thing with a lot of people. And I think that's what I'm trying to get to you guys with this mentorship. With this mentorship, I feel like a lot of you guys just need to feel that success, right? You need to feel successful trading for at least a month, or this mentorship's for 3 months. So if you can be successful for 3 months consistently, it's going to just catapult you to successful trading, right? You're going to be consistent for the rest of the year, basically. So, for a lot of you guys here who want to participate in the mentorship, again, I'll post up the link here for the mentorship. I'm cutting off the applications on Friday, which is tomorrow. So if you guys want to apply, there's no, even if you're just on the fence on it and you're not even sure if you want to do it, I recommend that you just apply because it's going to be a first come, first serve basis. So it's a 3-month mentorship. I'll be looking over your shoulder every single day, making sure that you're following your trading plan. There's no extra cost to it. I'm actually doing it for free. It's just who has access to the indicators. I'll be mentoring you guys, obviously. It's going to help you really get to that next level. Like Nick over here, Nick's been pretty much positive. He's been in the green and positive for the entire month of January. We're going into February. If Nick can keep this up from January up until May, he's going to feel like the best trader in the world, right? Because he's going to do something that a lot of people can't. I'm pretty sure that there's barely anybody out there who can stay consistent and profitable every single month, month over month. I've done it and I've proven it to you guys with these live sessions. And that's kind of where I want to get you guys to. I want to get you guys to that next level where everybody will be pretty much consistent month over month. I mean, it's the best feeling. Like for us here, you guys remembered how I showed you guys the results from 2023, right? This is like the best feeling coming to the end of the year. And you're like, okay, I took 231 wins, 28 losses at a win-loss ratio of 89% wins. That's a pretty good feeling to know that I followed my trading plan for the entire year of 2023 and I have almost a 90% win rate. And these are all live trades. So, and you just keep getting better every year. You keep getting better, you get more accounts, you could start taking bigger lot sizes, big contract sizes, and your profit just compounds year after year. So That's the goal, guys. Anyways, I know we kind of went off topic. I kind of went on a rant there, but there's nothing for us to take here to begin with. There's no V1 patterns here at 7:30 right now. We had the news over here at 7 o'clock or 7:30 actually. News was negative. So news was negative, price is coming down. It's going where it's supposed to. And we'll see if this shifts back to the downside. Oh, yeah. So Nick's risk percentage was too low. It's all good, Nick. Yeah, he just lowered his. Yeah, exactly. Nick's kind of feeling those 2020 K2 Sean vibes. Yeah, back when I was mentoring every single day. You guys remember that? I used to mentor people every single day. That was so much work. That's why I don't really like to mentor anymore. I kind of burned myself out early on. So hopefully this year will be a lot better. I can stagger my mentoring so I'm not on the computer all day and get you guys to that next level. Let's see, question over here from Henry. Henry is asking, I think I may be using the wrong contract size for my 50K account. Do you think 5 contracts is reasonable? 25 for every 10 ticks or too low for taking your trades? Henry, so what's the max lot size or max drawdown for a 50K account? Sorry, I'm not familiar with it because I don't trade 50K. I can do the math for you right here. I think Maddie mentioned it yesterday, but or actually, I think somebody else asked about it yesterday. I think the max contract size you should be using is 6. 6 is kind of pushing it because, I'll just pull it up real quick. So yeah, guys, here's the 80% off. It's going on for 4 more days. So if you guys want to sign up for the 80% off, this is your chance. Let me just scroll down real quick. I want to see what your max loss is for the 50K account. So your max loss is 2,500, right? So 2,500. I'll do the math for you real quick. 2,500. So 6 times 5 times 300 or times 30. That's 900. So if you're doing a 6 contract, we'll do 900 divided by 2,500. Oh, sorry, wrong number. 900, 2,500 divided by 900. Okay, so yeah, if you do a 6 contract size, Henry, then you can lose 2.7 times back to back. So you can basically lose like 3 losses back to back before you blow your account. So I think 6 contracts is the highest that you should go ever when trading with a 300 or a 30-point stop loss. 5 lots is okay, or 5 contracts is okay. It's going to be a slow roll, but you're going to get there eventually. So for example, you're doing 5 contracts times 5 times 10. So you're making about 250 per trade, right? Which is completely fine. Your profit goal is 3,000. It's not that bad. So I think you're good with 500 or with 5 contracts because you're 250. So if your profit goal again is 3,000, let's do the math real quick. So 3,000 divided by 250. It's going to take you 12 trades. So you have 12 winning trades and you're going to get funded. So I think you're good, Henry. You're good with the 5 contracts. I think 5 contracts is pretty conservative. That's what I'm doing too. I'm like making 500 per trade. It's gonna take me a while to get funded, but I'm gonna get funded. It's just gonna be a matter of time. It's just you just got to keep grinding it out until you get funded. Yeah, if you just keep attending the live sessions, and then probably by the end of February, you're gonna be funded, and you don't even realize that you're funded because you just have so many wins stacked up by then. So I think 5 contracts is good. If you want to up it, 6 contracts is as high as you should go. But yeah, you're on the right path. You're just slowly building your account to get to that funded phase. And then at that point, you'll have consistency. So you don't YOLO trades anymore. You'll be okay with taking a loss. You're not going to be all bummed out when you take a loss because you can take 2 more losses and it doesn't really set you far back. So you just got to be smart about it. I think that's the problem with a lot of people. They're not smart about their contract sizing and they want to get funded right away. That once they get funded, they blow the account immediately thereafter. Yeah, you're good, Henry. Take it slow, man. Slow and steady. We'll get you there. Let's see, Henry said, did I miss the announcement when we'll start the mentorship? So I'm definitely going to start the mentorship first week of February. So not February 1st, but the week after that, because that's like the first official week of February. I think it's like February 5th. So February 5th will be the first day of the mentoring incubator. So I'll let you guys know by next week. That's why tomorrow's the last day to fill out your application. By next week, I'll send out the emails, whether you've been accepted or not. It's on a first come, first served basis, guys. So if you guys are not part of this initial cycle, don't worry. You'll be first in line for the next one. Because I'm pretty sure once you guys start to see everybody, finding success trading after that first month, a lot of people are going to want to do it. So as long as you're on that list, you're going to be bumped up to the first in line for the next group. So, and I think I like doing this, so I'll probably do it next cycle. I haven't really thought about it yet, but I think the more people that get funded and the more people that make money doing this mentorship, the more likely I am to hold another session after. All right, Nick, we'll see you back here tomorrow. Let's see. Kenny said, learned a lot from you, bro. You've shortened my road to success in trading by years. Definitely, Kenny. Yeah, and I'm glad that you finally took the leap. I know when you first messaged me, you were kind of on the fence and you finally took that leap. And yeah, that's a good thing about having a mentor, guys. So like, I like mentoring people because I like bringing people to like basically helping you guys skip levels. I've been trading for like 12 years now. So I've gone through the good, bad, and the ugly. So I know what to focus on, what not to focus on. And I can give you guys these shortcuts through my experience. So that's why mentoring with me is pretty cool because you're actually learning from somebody who's been through the trenches, right? I've been through all the ups and downs. I understand trade psychology and stuff like that. So it's just me giving back because I owe a lot to trading. If I wasn't trading right now, I'd probably still be working like 9 to 5. Now it's all right, guys. So there's not really too much going on here. If there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I know we're going off topic with a lot of the analysis here, but there's nothing going on the chart. You can see prices back at this level. There's a low here that's been established, but the trend here is starting to shift downwards to a sell. So if this is the case, I don't even care about these bounces to the upside. I'm mainly looking for price to push back up. So I'm looking for price to push back up, establish a high right here, and then come right back down. This is where I'm looking to take my entries. I'm now looking for some sells because the trend is starting to shift to the downside. The only problem here is that we don't have that confirmation just yet. So let me scroll up real quick. Gary's asking, Sean, what's the lot size in Apex for a 300K account? Gary, so let's do the math for you real quick. Gary, okay, so your total lot size or your total loss is 7,500, right? All right, Gary, let's do this math for you. So I'm gonna try to think. Okay, so 10 times, or sorry, wrong thing there. So Gary's trying to do a 300 big boy account. The big boy account is kind of tricky because your drawdown is a lot less, but I mean it still works. So you just have to adjust your risk accordingly. So the 300K account, you see. I'm just going to try to do the math here. So 10 times 5 times 30. Your max drawdown is 7,500. Here, let's just do this. 7,500 divided by 3. Okay, so you can do a little more. Probably do 15 times 5 times 30. Maybe 16 times 5 times 30. 17 times 5 times. Okay, Gary, so you can go up to 17. Not really recommended. Your contract size should probably be around 16 or 15. Because if your risk is 2,500, for 3 losses, you'll still be within those parameters. So you probably want to use, you probably want to just use like a a 16 lot. Because if you do a 16 lot, so if you do 2,400 divided by 7,500, or sorry, 7,500 divided by 2,400. Yeah, you can technically have three back-to-back losses before you blow your account, which is probably not going to happen unless you're taking like some random trades. So yeah, Gary, you should probably you can use up to a 17, but you should probably use 15 to be on the conservative side, which is still good in my opinion, because you do 15 times 5 times 10, you're still making 750 per trade, which is still pretty good. It's just going to take you forever to get funded because I think your profit goal is 20,000. Yeah, let me just do the math real quick again. So 20,000 divided by 750. I mean, it's not that bad. You're going to take about 26 trades. You need to have 26 wins before you get funded. That's why I don't really like going up to the 300K count. It's not bad, but it's just going to be a longer grind. It's probably going to take you about a month and a half to get funded if you're consistent. So no problem, Gary. Just make sure you use the code because you'll get 50% off that, or sorry, not 50, 80% off that. So right now, if Gary does the 300K count, that's pretty cheap. So 677 times 80 minus 677. You're getting a 300K count for 135 bucks. That's so cheap, right? So yeah, if you want to do it, make sure you do it now. Well, you have 4 days to get that 80% off. So it's actually a pretty good deal. It's gonna take longer to get funded, but once you are funded, it's gonna be. Now you're making me think here. Now I think I might want to get a 300K a little later, like towards the when I get to my last like 5 or 10 accounts. You're fine, Gary. It's not really a basic question. I mean, for a lot of people, it's hard for them because they don't understand how to do the math. I'll try to create a module in the course so that you guys understand how to calculate your contract sizes. I know it's kind of confusing, but it'll help, especially so I don't have to explain this every time on a live session, which I don't mind because it helps me think too. All right, guys, this low over here has been pretty much pushed back. The new low's down here, but there's still no opportunities at this point. And Drew said, just don't pull a Drew and do 17 contracts. I mean, the thing with Drew is he passed his evaluation super quick, but yeah, it's super risky. I think Drew passed and then failed it, or he passed it and then he blew it, and then he did it the right way the next time around, and then he's back on track. It gets addicting because you start to see the bigger profits and you're like, okay, I want to take bigger contract sizes. And then as soon as you blow your account, you're like, yeah, I should have just lowered it, right? Because it's so easy to blow your account when you get to that point. But it's all good. You learn from it. Drew's probably the first person here to do that. And now Drew's funded with 3 accounts. So yeah, it's got to keep it up. Kenny said, I'll always tell my GF that I got lucky by personally knowing you and taking the leap to join this group. Yeah, I know you. We were talking back and forth for a while, Kenny. I know you're doing like e-com and stuff like that. And then you finally took the leap into trading, which I feel like is a typical pattern for a lot of people. I know a lot of you guys here have tried other business ideas. Even I have done myself. I've looked into e-com. E-com is a lot of work compared to trading. Trading is kind of once you get it, you get it. And from there, it's just really multiplying. For e-com, I feel like the market and eco space is always changing. So there's always something new that you have to learn. And it just gets more complicated. Let's see, Ender's asking, is there more than one challenge we need to pass for Apex? No, it's just a one-step process, Ender. Once you get your profit goal, then you'll get funded. That's how Steven over here got funded like in one day with one trade. He took one trade, made a huge profit, got funded, and then blew his account with the next trade. It's crazy. It's crazy because once you start building those bad habits, the bad habits just follow you. You just, you start to YOLO trades and you YOLO every single trade. And you just never get better from it. So it's all good. Vamal said, Sean, if you can explain it to me regarding the contract size, I can add this to an Excel sheet to calculate automatically. Okay, yeah, no, for sure. So the way that I do the math, Vamal is so like basically the way I do it is I'll multiply the contract size. I guess you could I do contract size times uh 5 or yeah, I guess $5 um times 30 equals yeah, I mean that's kind of the formula that I use right there. Vamal. I use contract size multiplied by $5 because you get $5 per contract times 30, which is the stop loss. That's the formula that I use. 30 points. Yeah, 30 points. Because we use points now for Apex. So that's pretty much how I calculate it for yeah, if you can put that together, that'd be great. I mean, Mal here is the he's an Excel whiz. He's the one that kind of helped me with the spreadsheets. So thanks to Mal for helping us with our color coding. So the color coding was all screwed up for a while. All right, so there's still no entries here, guys. You guys can see there's no high lows that are getting established. I was looking for a high to be established so I can look for price to come back down, but that thing never came up. So I think we might be done for trading for today. I'll keep answering questions here, but once we're done with the questions, we'll just wrap it up. So if there's any other questions, guys, feel free to put them in the chat. There's just nothing for you to take here. I wouldn't recommend chasing this. You can see prices overextended. It's dropped from this high point right here down to here for about 205 points, which is equivalent to 2,000 pips. It's a big drop, no retracement. Let me scroll up real quick. I want to make sure I'm not missing out on anything. Let's see. So Nick said, did your computer say order failed or was that mine? I haven't gotten into any trades, Nick, so that was probably yours, not mine, because I haven't gotten into anything aside from that last trade that we took earlier. Nick said TradingView paper trader is actually yeah. So that's another way to do it. You can also use the paper trader that Nick was talking about. I used to use that too as well, but I trade Forex on my account, so I can't really pull it up on mine. You can see over here, I have my login to my Forex because I'm still taking Forex trades here. You guys can see my trades in profit. I'm up 62 right now on this account or that asset. I'm up like $10 here on my NZD USD. I'm like up $100 over here on my Euro USD. So I still trade my Forex account. I'm up like a couple $100 here. So I can't really go to paper because, or I'll make a video how to do it, but I have to log out of my forex.com to be able to pull it up. So I'm still trading Forex, guys. So I'm still swing trading these Forex accounts. I just don't really show it to you guys because it's just too much work. I don't want to call signals. And I know as soon as I show you guys, like this is probably my big mistake here. I showed you guys that I'm in profit on all my Forex trades. And now I'm gonna get a bunch of questions from people asking me, hey, what trades are you taking? Can you call signals, etc., which I don't want to do. So I still trade Forex. I just don't tell you guys because I don't want to call out signals. It's just more work for me. I can make money in any market, guys. It doesn't matter what market you want me to trade in. I know how to trade everything. So, that's why I'm probably the best mentor for a majority of people because I can teach you how to I can literally teach you how to trade anything, scalp, swing, day trade, any asset. Because this carries over to like basically like the things that I teach you here, guys, on these charts, they carry over to other assets. It's not just for US30 or YM. Kenny's asking why are you using Heiken and She candles. The Heiken and She work well for swing trading. So I only trade on the daily time frame. Like you can see over here, all my trades are on the daily time frame for swing trading on Forex. So they were good. Kenny's asking, do you use those part of your strategy? Yeah, I still use the indicators to identify certain things. It's mostly like a high-low indicator. It helps a lot because I'm able to identify tops and bottoms. That's why for here, you can see I identified a bottom right here, and I pretty much rolled this up. Like I can pretty much predict when price is going to swing. And that's when I take these swing trades. And I just hold on to them until they hit TP. And then when they swing the other way, I'll go the other way as well. So I'll save that for another day when I start to teach swing trading. But yeah, my Forex accounts are doing well too. Make about like each trade I'm risking like 5% because it's a smaller account. So I'm making about like 5% per trade, which is pretty good. I mean, it's pretty solid for like for what I'm doing. And it's not, there's no work on my end. It's kind of just at the end of the day, I'll see if I want to enter or make adjustments. Kenneth's asking, do you use those as part of your exit strategy? No, not really. I use the ATR. Typically for my TP stop loss guys, I'll use the ATR here. I'll either go by ATR or I'll multiply it by 1.5. So for example, here, if the ATR was 15, multiply 1.5, I'm like, okay, I should go for a 1-to-1, 22 points. There's just different formulas that I use. I've been trading for a while, so I kind of know what the formulas are good, especially if you're trying to figure out a TP stop loss. You can make those adjustments on your ATR as well. So if you go to your ATR indicator, not that it's a little more complicated, so I don't really teach that. But if you want to do that, you can go to your trailing stop indicator and you can make adjustments to the inputs. The multiply, you can put like 1.5 if you want. But again, there's so many different things you can do. Let's see, last question or another question here from Ender is asking, is there a certain number of days that I need to pass? No, there isn't. That's why there's a monthly fee for it, Ender. So like you pay monthly, it's a small fee every month, but you only pay that fee until you pass. So if you take like 3 months, you just pay the fee 3 times, right? So if you're doing 150K count, you're paying $60, $60 for 1 month. If it takes you 3 months to pass times 3, you're going to pay 180. That's still way cheaper than FTMO or whatever company you're trading with. Because if you're trading with FTMO, I think a 150K count is like, it's like $500. So it's, you're getting a pretty good deal because you can trade like, for example, if you're doing 150K and you're doing it $60 per month with the 80% off, if you're trading for 12 months, you're still paying only 720. You get to basically trade that account for 7 months. And then you get a free reset if you blow the account. Basically, you just got to wait for it to reset the next month. So for me personally, I think it's a good deal. You just have to be able to trade within the parameters. Nick said, I remember the signal days, also the Bitcoin days when crypto bubble was happening. Yeah, exactly. Drew said it's the FOMO demon on your shoulder saying order fill. Yeah, that's really what it is. Let's see, Ross is asking, how do you get the labels on the right side? So if you try to get these labels right here on the right side, Ross, go to your chart settings. So you can right click on the chart, go to your settings, go down to your right here where it says scales. And then right here, you probably have these unchecked where it says indicator financial names. See how it's gone? When you click that back on, it's back on your chart. So I think they're usually off, but you just turn them on like that. If you want the numbers on the side, you just click on that too. So if you don't have these on, you're not going to have numbers or labels. If you just want numbers, you turn that on. If you want the labels, turn that on. Click OK, and it'll be set up on your chart. Ender is asking, I think it's like 7 days, but right now it's 1 day. So if you sign up today, Ender, and you have this account, so you have to sign up today. If you sign up today, you get 80% off in 1 day pass. That's the whole point of the promo. If you don't have the promo, then you have to trade. It tells you when you sign up. I think it's 7 days. I'm not sure if anybody can confirm that. It's not a long time. It's like a week's time, I think. But which should be the case because you shouldn't be passing your challenge in 1 day anyways. So, I mean, if you're going to trade it properly, it should take you a couple of days. It's not going to happen immediately. This is like I wouldn't say it's a scam, but this is kind of luring in certain people. It's not luring us in because we're not suckers, right? We're not here to pass in one day. But this whole promo is kind of it's a marketing scheme for like certain traders. You know, there's going to be a group of traders who YOLO trades and they suck. And there's going to be a group of traders who are professional and they treat this like a business and they're expecting to pass within a couple days or a month, right? You shouldn't be passing within a day. You can pass within a day, but you know, it's not a good habit. And then there's going to be the hybrid traders. There's going to be hybrid traders that are kind of like us, where you are treating it like a professional account, but then you have like these YOLO accounts. You have like right now, for example, I have 10 accounts, right? Or I have 8 accounts with Apex. I can open one account and I can just YOLO that one account and pass. And then I'll just start trading normal once I'm passed on that account. But I don't want to push those bad habits onto you guys. Yeah, I know exactly. Andrew said it's weird because it goes against the rules. It's like I said, so it's just a marketing scheme for those people who want to YOLO trades, right? They're trying to make a quick buck off these people who want to YOLO. Basically, they started releasing this 1 day passing rule when FTMO had problems, right? Because you're getting a lot of people from FTMO who are going over to Apex and they're like, oh, I want to just YOLO the account and get funded right away. So it's a sucker. It's like a sucker bet or a sucker account for these people who want to just go in, get funded, and then think that it's going to be super easy once they get funded. So I think it's just a marketing scheme right now. They're just trying to get a lot of people into their platform that are leaving FTMO and leaving these other funding companies. But for the people who are actually profitable, they're not going to use that as one of their things that they plan on doing because it's not sustainable. You can't get like 3% to 5% risk every single day and not blow your account because then your trailing drawdown is gonna come into play. Let's see, Rev said pass a 50K eval today and have one funded following you into the winner's circle. Definitely, Rev. Glad to hear that, and hopefully you get more along the way. Jeff's asking which account should I go for? I would go with Tradeovate, Jeff, because Tradeovate is it's more efficient. You can trade like when you have Tradeovate, you can trade on the Tradeovate app. You can trade here on TradingView. You can trade on NinjaTrader. You can trade on a bunch of different applications. If you use Rhythmic, you can only use Rhythmic. So I would recommend just doing Tradeovate. Zachary's asking Tradeovate or Apex. Apex isn't a broker. Apex is the funding company. Tradeovate's the broker that you would be using. So it's either Tradeovate or Rhythmic. Those are the two options you have. I recommend doing Tradeovate because there's more options that you can trade on. Yeah, exactly. Drew said and you can't switch after you buy Rhythmic. Yeah. So once you buy Rhythmic, you're stuck with Rhythmic. With Tradeovate, you can switch back and forth. So just stick with the Tradeovate. That's gonna be your best option. Inder's asking for those of you who have a PA account with Apex, are you supposed to see demo? It should say PA next to your account. Bro. So let me see. Let's look at our team profits real quick. Okay, so you can see over here on Maddie's. So if you can see over here on his account, it says PA. These are his funded accounts. The ones that say Apex are evals. So it should say PA Apex. That means that's a funded account. If it just says Apex, that means that's just eval. That's how you'll know if it's funded or not. All right, guys, I think that's it. If there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. It's 8:02 right now, so we're past our 8 o'clock deadline for trading. It wouldn't matter because there's no injuries that came up. You can see the price is pretty much just going sideways right here down at the bottom. So if there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, that's about it. So, all right, guys, I think we answered all the questions. If there's any other questions that you guys have that I didn't get to, feel free to reach out. I'm just going to remind you guys one more time. If you guys want to learn these strategies that we covered here, just go to our website, kodikaitrades.com, click on unlock your free access. It'll provide you access to the course. This is what the course looks like. If you want to learn the indicators, go down to module 3, has all the indicators right here. If you want to learn the strategies, go down to module 4. And if you want to learn any of the older strategies, go down to the lower modules down here. And then lastly, if you guys want to participate in the mentorship that's happening between February and May, it's a 3-month mentorship. Just go to the Discord. I posted the link in the announcements for the mentoring incubator right here. So I'm only picking a handful of people. If you guys don't get chosen, it's fine. You'll probably get kicked to the next cycle, which is going to happen either in March, or I might just wait until the whole mentorship is done before I allow another cycle to rejoin. So if you guys want to do it, feel free to put it in. I'm not charging anything extra. You just have to have access to the indicators because we're going to be applying these strategies, and I'm going to show you how to backtest so that you guys can practice on the off hours. So, all right, guys, I think that's it. If there's any questions,